Tommy has that for us. Tommy.
Well, I've got to continue Sci-Fi September, haven't I?
You have indeed.
So I figured, considering we did Back to the Future, which is very
awesome
and very well known, I thought I'd go for something a little less well known this week. And I've gone for a movie in 2013 when it was released. So, quite a while back. 8 years ago, is it? Yeah, 8 years ago. And the film is called The World's End, rated 15, by the way.
Okay.
As it's quite a crude comedy in some ways. A lot of language spoken, and a lot of inappropriate language, especially. The final instalment to the famous Cornetto trilogy started with Shaun of the Dead and continued with Hot Fuzz. This film is my least favourite of the three, but that is not to say that this is still a highly well-written comedy/drama. So the story is, back in 1990, 5 teenagers did the infamous Golden Mile pub crawl, where they need to have a pint in each of the designated 12 pubs before reaching the final pub, called The World's End.
Right.
They failed the crawl, but they meet up again 23 years later to complete this once and for all, even if something not from this world tries to prevent them from achieving it.
Right.
So, funny you said right. Edgar Wright's directing in this film is maybe my favourite example of his prowess in the field, because 75% of the film was shot during the night, and in the pubs, and plus in the winter, by the way. It was shot in the winter, so as you can imagine, it must have been freezing for the actors.
Yeah.
And when they're in the pubs and they're exchanging a lot of dialogue, and you really need to have precise editing and layout skills to achieve that. And you can really tell that that's been done to perfection in each scene and each pub that they visit. I'm glad Wright is getting more recognition as a now highly successful Hollywood film director. Simon Pegg as the lead, Gary King, is a standout role for him, as he has even quoted it as the most fun he has ever had in a role. Being a 40-year-old alcoholic who just wants his friends to complete the Golden Mile, as that was the best night of his life, and there is ultimately a lot of tragedy to his character with all of that revealed, and more so to be revealed in the third act. I also like the medieval themes in the film, what with the constant mentions of King Arthur, the Three Musketeers, which are actually 5 in this film, and the fact that all 5 of the guys' names in some way relate to that theme. So the first one is Gary King, obviously King being very medieval.
Yep.
Andy Knightley, so a medieval knight as such. Stephen Prince, a medieval prince.
Yep.
Peter Page, so I guess like a wizard's book or something can be related to that.
Right.
And Oliver Chamberlain. So I think Chamberlain sounds very, very King Arthur-like. So it's very symbolic of them being like the Knights of Camelot or something. And it's just really, really fun. You get some great side characters played brilliantly by Paddy Considine, Eddie Marsan, Martin Freeman, Rosamund Pike, Piers Brosnan, David Bradley, who is Filch in the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Nick Frost, who plays the smarter one of the Peg-Frost duo for once in this film. So, to close, this film is a film that gets you in the mood to want to go out for a few drinks and catch up with your friends. It is filmed very, very well by a comedy master that can handle the drama too. And the powerful themes of depression, aging, nostalgia, and friendship is exposed to just the right amount for effect. Also, look out for the Cornetto ice cream wrapper during the coda of the film, this time being a green mint chip wrapper to symbolise the aliens and sci-fi elements in the film.
Not mint, because mint's awesome.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I think I've mentioned this in my reviews for review for Shaun of the Dead, that with Shaun of the Dead, it's strawberry flavoured cornetto to symbolise the blood and the violence.
Yes, you did.
And then in Hot Fuzz, which I don't know, we've spoken about Hot Fuzz, haven't we? I think.
Can't remember.
Yeah, but in Hot Fuzz, it's a original cornetto, which is a blue wrapper to symbolise the blue police uniforms.
Yeah.
And then in this one, of course, it's the green mint chip one to symbolise the aliens and sci-fi elements to it. I didn't mention much of the sci-fi elements that are involved in this film because a lot of it is spoiler territory, and I wouldn't want to go there for the listeners. So all I can say is this 100% clarifies as a sci-fi related movie. Please do check it out. I would easily give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Not a bad little rating. Not a bad little film by the
Yep.
sound of it. Well, Tommy, thank you as always.
Happy to be here, Dan, and happy to kick off the weekend with you.
Absolutely. Well, stick around, Tommy. We've got a brain hurty to answer and, of course, some great tunes between.